Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News, the Daily Hindu News Analysis. As it is 9th June today, in this video we are going to discuss few important articles which could be very much relevant for your preparation. But before we start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief introduction about the initiative which we are running on our YouTube channel, which could be very much helpful for you guys. Basically, on our YouTube channel every day we try to upload two videos here, and we try to discuss two important parts of your syllabus in these two videos. In the first one, which is this video, mostly in the morning session, we discuss the daily news. What we do, we take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we try to discuss them. And finally, we try to derive the possible prelims questions or mains questions from those articles, so that it will give the idea how exactly you have to read the newspaper, what are the important articles, and how you can expect the possible questions from these particular articles. This is what we do in the first video. And in the second video, which we upload in the evening or night session, in this video we discuss your static syllabus. As we had promised you that every day we are going to upload here a video about your static syllabus, and we started with Indian polity. We had promised you that by the month of Jan 2026 we will complete your syllabus, and in this program we will try to complete every subject which is relevant for your preparation, whether it would be prelims or mains. Except the optional subjects, we are not going to deliver here. So except optional, we are going to deliver everything what is required for you to clear the prelims or mains exam. So please, if you would like to be the part of this initiative, you are most welcome. Just subscribe us and wait for our videos. Hit the notification button and wait for our videos. So this is the little initiative which we are running from last few weeks, I can say. Actually, from the last 1 week we are running this initiative. We started it from the 2nd June itself. Now, without any delay, let's start our discussion. First let me rub this part here, and then we will start our discussion in a very regular way. This article was in the Hindu newspaper, and let's see what does the article say here. If you can see the article, it is basically talking about the new study which makes controversial weather tweaking idea more realistic. What is this weather tweaking idea it is talking about? What is this weather tweaking idea it is talking about? Right now we are living in the phase where globe is warming. Globe is warming at the high rate, and global warming is the reality. Global warming is the reality, and the reasons for this global warming, mostly the emissions which are due to the human-made industries, which are due to the human actions. So right now the globe is warming at the very high pace. So what could be the solution to it? How we can reduce the temperature? This is the actual question. How we can reduce the temperature of the globe? How we can reduce it? Now there can be many ways in which we can do it. There can be many ways. First, we can go for afforestation. Go for reducing the carbon dioxide emissions, CO2 emissions. We can go for it. We can put bans on money fuels which we are using right now. We can we can go for the alternate vehicles, alternate materials, as we discussed it in our one of the sessions. There are many ways which can help in reducing the CO2 emissions and eventually help in reducing the temperature of the globe. But there are some another ways which which can be more realistic and which can be achievable at the same time, and whose result is much likely to happen. About these methods by which we can increase the afforestation, or another by reducing the CO2 emissions. It is a long time journey, but permanent one, but a long time journey. But the methods which are mentioned in this, they are very much achievable, they are very much under they can be under our control, but what is needed for them is huge investment is needed for them. Now let's discuss that what are these methods. Basically the branch which deals with it is called the geoengineering. In this geoengineering there are two ways it is discussed, two ways by which we can reduce it. In the geoengineering method there can be two ways by which we can reduce this temperature under this article which are mentioned. The first one is solar radiation management. The two ways which are mentioned is solar radiation management, or we can say in simpler terms SRM. Solar radiation management, how it will work. Let me show it here. As here you can see on the screen, there are reflectors put in the stratosphere. Reflectors are in the stratosphere, and what they will do, they will reflect the sun radiations coming on it, and they will reflect it, so it in a way can help in reducing the temperature. So this is one of the method. And the second one is carbon dioxide removal. Well, the second method, which is majorly in this solar radiation method, there is another way by which we can reduce the temperature. What is that? And the another way, first one is using the mirrors, using the reflectors, and the another way which was mentioned, which is talked about, is the sulfate aerosols. Sulfate aerosols. So what is the sulfate aerosols? In it, the sulfate aerosols they would be poured in the stratosphere, and they will act as as they are white in color. As they are white in color, they will naturally act as the reflectors of the light, and it will reduce the temperature on the globe. But these methods which are mentioned by the geoengineering, these two methods, either sulfate aerosols, distributing, or we can say putting sulfate aerosols in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, or using the mirrors, they are very much temporary in nature. They are very much temporary in nature, and has many disadvantages associated with them. Associated with them. If we will talk, suppose let's talk about the sulfate aerosols. What are the various disadvantages associated with them? For example, it can lead to the acid rain. This is one of the disadvantage. It can lead to delay in ozone recovery, depletion recovery, delay in ozone depletion recovery. Then we can, it can lead to the global impact on localized phenomena. It is not a solution, not a permanent solution to climate change, and also can cause circumstances of dimming. It can cause circumstances of dimming. There can be it can impact this it can impact the photosynthesis. So there are various ways, the various disadvantages associated with it, and that's why this study, it is basically in a way talking about these methods, the sulfate aerosol method, which is highly talked about, but it has many disadvantages. One of the disadvantages which we mentioned here. And also we have to, it will lead to huge investment. When we are going to separate these sulfate aerosols in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, we have to we will be forced to go for the distance, the distance between the earth, the surface of the earth, and where we will pour it. It would be approximately 25 to 30 kilometers. So for that we will need those aircrafts which have this ability to climb that much, and for that it will lead to huge investment. So practically it is not that much feasible. Even if if we can achieve it, there are countries who can invest in it, but still it is very much there are winds which can disturb the position of these aerosols. So there are various drawbacks associated with it. That is what this idea is talking about. The article here is talking about, As the name suggests, new study makes controversial weather tweaking idea more realistic. Even though this weather tweaking idea it is realistic, but there are various drawbacks associated with it. It can have various even though we can reduce the temperature, but it is very much temporary in nature. It is not the permanent one, but it leads to various drawbacks. And for the countries like India, we are way behind those inventions by which we can achieve this technology. So what is recommended? Better to go for the conventional ones. Reduce the fossil fuel emissions. Reduce the CO2 emissions. Go for the alternate fuels, and go for the afforestation. These can be the better ways in reducing these phenomena. So with this, I hope you had understood the article here, you had understood the question. Now you had understood the whole article, what it is talking about, and the natural ways in reducing the temperature, and what are the artificial ways, how we can do it. Is it the real solution? It is not the permanent solution. It can be the temporary one. It can reduce the temperatures, but it is not the permanent solution. And also, to reduce the temperature up to 1 degree centigrade, we will need 25 million tons of sulfate. We will need 20 million tons of the sulfate aerosols. So this much is needed to reduce the temperature till 1 degree centigrade. So it is basically way beyond countries like, it is very much beyond countries like India and other countries. It can be realistic for countries like US and UK, but for India it is not realistic right now. For us, we should be very much conventional in it, and we should much focus on the other ways which are very much natural, which are very much under our domain. So this was the discussion about it. Now let us see what question can be framed from this article on the other slide. Let's talk about that. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding geoengineering. First statement, it primarily focuses on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Does it focus on greenhouse gas emission? Does it focus on reducing greenhouse gas emission? We discussed that geoengineering, it does not it does not primarily focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but it focuses on reducing the temperatures, in tweaking the temperatures, which we discussed, maybe by installing the mirrors in the stratosphere, or by using the sulfate aerosols, or also by reducing the temperature by genuine methods, in which we have to reduce the CO2 emission. But its primary focus is not reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. So first statement becomes incorrect, even though it may seem correct, but it is incorrect. Second statement, it says solar radiation management techniques aim to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. No, not at all. It does not aim. Its aim, same, it is the same argument which we gave in the first statement. Its aim is to reduce the temperature, not to remove the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So that's why it is not the solution of the disease. It can be the it is a permanent, it is an temporary relief it can give to the planet, but not the permanent solution. Third statement, carbon dioxide removal, it is the another technique under the geoengineering. Carbon dioxide removal technique includes afforestation and direct air capture. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct option would be option 3 only, statement 3 only. If the codes were given, then the correct option would have been, let's suppose A is 3 only, then it would be the correct answer. So with this, I hope you had understood the article as well as the question here. Now let's move to the another slide and see what article we had brought here. Well, this article is written by the Supreme Court advocate, a very interesting article. It, as the name suggests, it says judicial sensitivity to sentiment is a sign of regression. So what is the core discussion of the author in this article? Basically the author has highlighted various cases, various recent cases, especially the Kamal Hassan case, his controversy, the case involving 24-year-old who wrote a social media post against PM Modi, in which he criticized PM Modi over Operation Sindoor and various other. And he's actually highlighting that how how courts are endorsing these cases, and in a spite of they protecting and upholding the Article 19 subclause, Article 19 1A. Instead of upholding it, what they are doing, they are going by the public sentiment. They are trying to diffuse the public sentiment. They are going by the public sentiment. If the public sentiment is against it, what they are asking these people to apologize. So this is the whole discussion of this article in the simplest terms. If we will conclude the whole article, this big article, into the simplest terms, the author here says, we had seen the trends in the judiciary right now. If there are cases, for example, the freedom of speech and expression, the freedom of speech and expression, if we will see right now what is the condition of Indian courts. Indian courts are not defending the free speech. Indian courts are not. Right now, according to the author, he says that Indian courts are not defending the free speech. Indian courts are not defending the free speech. Right now, their focus should have been better defend the free speech, defend the incident what has happened. For example, the Kamal Hassan incident, the 24-year-old defend his post. He has the right to criticize the government. He is doing that. Rather than doing that, according to him, what the courts are doing, they are going by the popular sentiments, what the people's sentiments are, and they are asking them to apologize. According to him, this attitude of the courts, it is very much regressive in nature, and it is going to harm our judiciary. It is going to harm our society. So he further highlights that the doctrine of chilling effect. He is talking about the doctrine of chilling effect. Suppose if the examples created of these FIRs which are filed against the people, if even they criticize the government, if even they say anything which may be silly, but as per the Article 19(1)(a), you can say whatever you want to. You have this protection under Article 19(a) of the Constitution. You can it gives the protection over the provocative speech also. But since the latest trends in our courts, we had seen Kunal Kamra cases also, that how he was doing an attire. He's a stand-up comedian, but the tolerance in the people, it is being reflected in the courts also. What the focus of the court should have been, the constitutional morality. It should have been the focus of the courts, but it has changed into the social morality. They are going by the social morality, not by the constitutional morality. And in this way, in this race, the right to freedom of speech and expression, which is protected by Article 19(1), which is protected by Article 19 subclause 1 or clause 1, it is getting diluted. So if we look at it, what should have been and further the author here highlights how the courts actually should have reacted to these cases. The court should have reacted. They should have seen the incident, what had happened, what has been said by the accused, and measure it with the constitutional norms, whether it is against the constitution, whether it is against the freedom granted by the Article 19 or not. But courts are not doing it. What they are seeing, how they are reacting it, they are seeing how the people are getting this, what are the sentiments of the people, what is the sentiment of the media, and according to that they are reacting to these cases. So according to the author, this is not the good doctrine, this is not the good way. We are not going into a good direction. It can be very much regressive in the nature. So with this article, you need to know about Article 19, what are the freedoms given and what are the restrictions given under the Article 19 clause 2. What are the restrictions? For example, if you are talking, if your speech impacts the sovereignty and integrity of our country, if it impacts the security of the state, if it impacts if it is impacting the friendly relations with foreign state, if it is impacting the public order, if it is if it is against the decency and morality. And what is this decency and morality? It should be very much defined. Is it the social morality or the constitutional morality? And also, if it is against the contempt of court, or defamation, or offenses like that, then you can, these are some restrictions to the article 19 1 article 19 subclause 1. So these are some restrictions under which which courts should had studied before taking up the cases, or before answering to these cases, or before making them apologize, or saying please say sorry to the people. Before saying that, they should look at the cases, whether they are against the constitutional norms, whether they are really hurting. They should keep this in the mind. What the people perceive, that is not the important, but what the constitution says. Is it again, is it defamatory in nature? Is it against the security of the state? Is it against the sovereignty and integrity of the state? If is it against the friend relation or public order, then only the court should object the statement. So this is the whole nutshell of the article, the nature courts had adopted. The author has highlighted few recent cases, which shows that the courts are going in a wrong direction according to the author. It is the regressive approach which courts had adopted. It is better for them to protect the right to freedom of speech and expression than protecting the sentiments of the people. So this is in nutshell what was in the article. So I hope you had understood it. Now let's try to solve the question here. Let's see what question we had brought today. The question says, consider the following statements regarding the doctrine of chilling effect in Indian jurisprudence. First statement: it refers to the inhibition of the exercise of fundamental rights due to fear of legal sanctions or reprisal. 100% correct. As seen in this article, we saw that how, if you have the right to criticize the government and you are facing such challenges, then next time you will not go that. You will have this chilling effect, that if I am going to say anything against government, if I am going to go for the constructive criticism, I am going to end up very badly. So definitely you will avoid it, and this is exactly what doctrine of chilling effect is. Second statement: the Supreme Court of India has primarily applied this doctrine in cases related to freedom of speech and expression. 100% correct. Third statement: the doctrine aims to prevent the state from enacting laws that, while seemingly benign, can indirectly restrict constitutional freedom. That is also true. So with respect to this question, all the three statements are correct. So with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there, what article we had brought there. Well, the article is about basically MASLD. It is very interesting. Basically, it is called the non-alcoholic liver disease. Fatty liver, which non-alcoholics develop. It is basically, the article here is talking about, it is basically the diet pattern which the people follow. It is the cause for the MASLD, a liver condition. According to the author, if right food is taken, a right amount of calories are taken, this disease can be avoided. And why it is being caused? It is because of the people being their the lifestyle which we follow. Because of this non-alcoholic this liver disease is caused. So what is MSLD? It is the metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver condition that remains a silent pandemic. So what is MASLD? It is an metabolic MASLD is an metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver condition. It is a liver condition. So how it is caused? It is caused majorly by the diet pattern which we go through, the diet pattern followed by the people in our country. According to the data, approximately 40% of Indian population is being affected by this disease. 40% of Indian population is being affected by this disease, according to the data. It can be this MASLD. It can be also written as a non-alcoholic fatty liver liver disease. And you know, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, in it, according to the data, approximately 40% of Indian population is affected by non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So the reason for this is, you know, basically about the liver, there is one problem associated with it. You know, you don't feel symptoms, until its damage is beyond tolerable, damage is beyond tolerable. So because of this, when you don't feel the symptoms, you don't feel need to visit the doctor, and once it is almost 80 to 90% damaged, then only you feel the symptoms. And when you go to the doctor and you see that it has been highly damaged, so what can be the solution to it? The solution recommended by the author is that we should regularly consult the doctor and do our blood tests on time. Whenever we feel slight pain or dizziness, we should go to the doctor and do our tests. And also we should very much focus on our daily habits, the diet which we take in. It should be low in calories. You know, we should focus on our diet, so in this way we can reduce the impact of this disease. So what does the MASLD stand for? It is basically a medical term which may not be that much easy for us to pronounce it. Just remember, it is also called as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. MASLD stands for metabolic dysfunction, associated steatotic disease, liver disease, steatotic liver disease. So this is about the article, how it is basically caused by the diet. It is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and how it can be controlled, how Indian population is being affected by this disease. So with this, let's try to solve the question which can be framed from this article on the another slide. Let's try to solve it. Well, here is the question about it. Let's see what does the question say. Consider the following statements regarding the metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease, formerly known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It was better name. I don't know why they have changed it. First statement: MASLD is characterized by fat accumulation in the liver, primarily in individuals with significant alcohol consumption. No, it is not in those individuals. It is for non-alcoholic patients. So first statement is incorrect. Second statement: it is strongly associated with the metabolic risk factors such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and dyslipidemia. Correct. Third statement: the progression of the MASLD can lead to more severe conditions like cirrhosis and liver failure. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and 3 only, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what article we had brought in. Well, the article is about the Kumki elephants. You know, the first operation of Kumki elephants to curb the wild tusker menace in AP to start soon. You know, you would have heard about the wild human animal conflict, to be more precise, human animal conflict. And in this, the elephants are the major reason of that, because you know, these wild elephants, they will enter into the fields of the human settlements, they will destroy the crops there. And you know, for farmers, it is these crops are their source of living, and they often end up fighting with each other. And you know, either humans get there is always the loss of life, either maybe from the humans, or there would be loss of the wildlife, you know, or these animals would be killed. So in this case, you know, the Kumki elephants, this idea came in, you know, in which either they will capture the wild animals and they will train them, or they will breed the wild elephants. They will breed the wild elephants, and they will breed them in a way. They will then train them they will train them in a way that they can curb the wild tusker elephants. They can curb the wild elephants. So with this, it is highly adopted in the south, especially in the Andhra Pradesh, and it is going to start very soon. So this is little idea about it. Now let's basically this news in itself is not that much important for your preparation. News is not that much important, but what is important is Kumki elephant. Let's see what it is about. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the Kumki elephants in India. First statement, Kumki elephants are wild elephants captured and trained for forestry operations. They can be wild elephants which are captured, and they can be, these elephants are, also breeded. So first statement is not fully correct. So it is incorrect. Second statement, they are primarily used to assist in the capture and translocation of other wild elephants. Correct. Third statement, the use of Kumki elephants is a traditional practice limited only to the southern states of India. No, it is. Yes, it is indeed the traditional practice, but it is not limited only to the southern states. It is also being found in other states also. So the third statement is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option 2 only. Let's have a look at the first statement again. Let's see what it said. Kumki elephants are wild elephants captured and trained for forestry operations. They are not actually, this part is incorrect. They are not for the forestry operations, but they are trained and captured for what? In capturing and translocation of wild elephants. So that's why it is incorrect. Indeed, the Kumki elephants, they are majorly the captured elephants. They are captured by the people there, and they are trained in this way so that they will help them in controlling the other wild elephants. So first statement is, that's why it is incorrect. So with this, the correct statement is option B. Now let's move to the last article of today's discussion and see what we had brought here. The article is about the India and Mongolia. They hold a joint military exercise to enhance interoperability. India and Mongolia, they hold the joint military exercise. What is the name of this exercise? This can be very much important. Name of the exercise can be very much important for your prelims preparation, as it is the 17th. It was the 17th edition of this exercise. So what is the name of the exercise? It is the nomadic elephant. Name of the exercise is nomadic elephant. It is being held annually, and alternatively between India and Mongolia. Suppose this year it is the Mongolian turn, next year it would be held in India. So this is some basic idea about the exercise. Rest we will learn through the question on the next slide, that we will understand through this question. Here the question says, with reference to the joint military exercise between India and Mongolia, consider the following statement. First statement, the annual joint military exercise between India and Mongolia is known as nomadic elephant, 100% correct. Second, the exercise primarily focuses on counter-terrorism operations in semi-urban and mountainous terrains under United Nations mandate. That is also true. Third statement, India also participated in a multinational peacekeeping exercise organized by Mongolia named Khan's Quest, 100% correct. So with respect to this question, all the three statements are correct, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option D. With this, we had completed our today's discussion. I hope you would like the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. And please be ready for the next video, which we are going to upload after some time, maybe in the evening session. Please be ready for that too. Thank you for staying with us.